The woman suddenly noticed that something was off about the truck in front of her. The road was completely empty. There were no other cars and there wasn't even a speed limit. Yet that truck was crawling along as slow as a snail. She wanted to get home quickly, so without a second thought, she stepped on the gas and overtook the truck. But as soon as she overtook the truck driver suddenly lost his temper. He slammed on the gas and with a burst of speed overtook her right back. Yet after passing her, the truck started driving slowly again at a snail's pace, as if deliberately provoking her. Seeing this, the woman got angry too. She immediately accelerated and once again left the truck far behind. But this time, she couldn't shake off a strange, unsettling feeling. The cars behind made her uneasy, and she felt that the truck driver had bad intentions. Now, all she wanted was to get rid of this jinx of a truck as quickly as possible and not let it catch up to her again. With a roar, the truck was right on her tail, sticking to her bumper. The woman finally mustered up her courage, gritted her teeth, and pushed her speed up to 120. To her surprise, the truck also sped up, roaring like a wild beast, and overtook her again. At this point, the woman's fear finally turned into anger. She began to feel that the truck driver was deliberately harassing her. Once she was sure that the driver wouldn't let her go, she saw him slow down, so she tried to let the truck pass, hoping it would stop following her. Now the woman could only silently follow behind the truck, feeling both scared and puzzled, her mind racing as she wondered what she could have done to provoke this living hell, but no matter how hard she thought, she couldn't figure it out. After driving for a while, unexpectedly, the truck driver signaled for the woman to go ahead. The young woman thought to herself, could it be that he lost interest and decided to give up on harassing me? So she adjusted the steering wheel again, took a deep breath, and prepared to overtake. But just as she started to accelerate and overtake, that damned truck sped up again, pulling the same trick as before. Now he began to drive alongside her, the massive truck body pressing in like a wall, almost forcing her off the road. The woman was terrified, barely able to hold onto the steering wheel, completely at a loss for what to do. Just then, a car suddenly sped toward her from the opposite direction. She screamed in fright, quickly jerked the steering wheel, and slowed down, barely managing to make it around that deadly curve. All of this felt like a nightmare to her. Now she was certain that the truck driver was a complete lunatic. The next second, she couldn't hold on any longer and screeched her car to a stop by the side of the road, collapsing into the driver's seat, trying her best to calm down. Half an hour passed, and she figured that the truck must have disappeared into the distance like a puff of smoke before she finally started driving again. But this time, she drove very slowly, her nerves on edge at every turn, terrified she might see that deadly truck again. In this anxious state, she spent over an hour on the road. She was almost home, and there was still no sign of that truck. Unexpectedly, just as she was about to reach home, she passed by a spot where a serious car accident had occurred. A sedan had been completely wrecked, its parts scattered everywhere, a truly horrific sight. Yet strangely, there was no sign of the driver responsible for the crash. It seemed they had fled the scene. The woman originally wanted to ask the police whether the vehicle responsible was the same deadly truck that had been chasing her, but then she remembered her sick mother was still anxiously waiting at home. The words were on the tip of her tongue, but she swallowed them back down. She quietly got back into her car, took a deep breath, and once again hurried in the direction of home. But she couldn't shake her doubts, her mind in turmoil, wondering if that truck was really behind the accident. She looked back several times, but there was no sign of the truck anywhere. Just as she was about to breathe a sigh of relief, she suddenly looked ahead and was completely stunned, her hair standing on end. The truck had unexpectedly appeared in her rearview mirror, accelerating straight toward her.